The Raging Gucci in downtown once again today, talking to DeerSafe Victoria about the impending deer cull proposed by the CRD. Kelly, thanks for taking a moment to talk to the Raging Gucci today about DeerSafe Victoria and what you're doing here. I just have a few questions for you.
Okay.
So, what is DeerSafe Victoria about?
DeerSafe Victoria is a citizens group, and we're from all walks of life. We're just people who disagree that the deer need to die because they annoy a few people.
Right, and so what are some of the reasons why people say the deer need to be killed?
The number one reason is gardens. People are irritated that the deer eat their flowers. So since that issue has come up, others have jumped on board with their own ideas that they're hitting them with their cars, they're drowning in swimming pools, or there's a myriad of reasons now to kill the deer.
Right. And so what are they proposing to do to the deer?
Well, one thing that the municipalities are being asked to vote on is something called Clover trap bolt gun killing, which is a baited trap that the deer go in, and they're in it all night long. They thrash around, they break their limbs, they break their antlers. In the morning, two men collapse the trap onto the deer and sit on the deer and attempt to hit them in the head with a captive bolt gun, which is used in abattoirs. It's not meant to be used on wildlife.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very humane.
It's definitely not humane. We had a witness in Cranbrook who came forward during the cull that they attempted in February, and he described the sound that the doe made when she was in the trap. That was what caught his attention to begin with. And then he stayed in the dark until the contractor came, and when they hit her with the bolt gun, she wasn't dead. She was being dragged to the truck kicking. We know it's not humane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And have any other organizations spoken out against the cull?
There's actually three groups in the Kootenays. There's two groups in the Kootenays. There's the Humane Treatment of Urban Wildlife and the Invermere Deer Protection Society. They've all spoken out against culls in their cities. And the Invermere Deer Protection Society has actually got a court case against the District of Invermere, which the trial happens on the 9th and 10th of October.
Okay. And the Raging Gucci has also heard that the BC SPCA has spoken out against this. Is that true?
It's true. The SPCA wrote two letters to Cranbrook during their secret cull, the one they tried to pull off, and they also wrote a letter to Oak Bay. What the SPCA's objection is to a cull is that the reasons for killing these animals aren't good enough. This can't be about gardens. This can't be about cars. And one thing I like that the SPCA came out and said was, raccoons and dogs are hit by cars too. No one's asking to cull them. Why the deer?
Right. Well, that's an interesting point. Definitely. And so what are you out doing here today?
I'm out today doing outreach. I approach people, ask them if they'd like to sign our petition to the CRD. We're coming up on 3,000 signatures to the CRD now, and I'd like to keep that up because they need to see that the majority of Victorians aren't behind a cull.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the non-lethal methods of cohabitation that DeerSafe is supporting in lieu of a cull?
We support fencing, repellents for the deer around gardens, and if it is found there is an overpopulation, then we support the use of Spayvac, which is an immunocontraception, and it's one inoculation, and the doe can't conceive for the rest of her life.
Okay, so you said if the deer count is found to be an overpopulation, so has the count actually been done to confirm the number of deer?
There's no way to count urban deer.
So we don't know even how many deer there are?
Nobody knows how many deer there are. Our question has always been, that being the case, how many are you going to kill to satisfy people?
Has local municipalities come forward to DeerSafe at all, asking for help? Because you've done a lot of research on this subject and have a lot of ideas, obviously.
I know that one deer defense organization has been talking to Oak Bay about an immunocontraception program. I believe it's going well. I don't really know, but the alternative is there. It's just going to take the political will of these municipalities to get the courage to just implement something else, because killing is the first thing everyone thought of, and it's just too easy to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. So the cost of killing, do we have an idea of what that is? If they're going to do a cull?
Yes, all we can speak to is the Kootenays, and in Kimberley, I think their budget was $300 per deer. The last cull in Cranbrook, they paid $625 per deer. So yeah, I guess it depends on how much the local governments think it's worth.
Right. And I guess taxpayers are paying for every deer killed.
This is all about the taxpayers' dollars. Yeah. They couldn't do this without the taxpayers' dollars.
And there's been a rumor, I've heard, that some municipalities are even considering sharpshooting now instead of trap and euthanize.
Yeah, there is a rumor going around about bylaws being varied so that sharpshooting could happen in the cities. The safety issue, you would think that the safety issue there would put an end to that kind of talk, but it's coming up again.
So the CRD is now considering a goose cull, we've heard as well. What do you think of that in terms of, first the deer, now the geese? What's next?
Well, exactly. In actual fact, the Goose Management Committee has been ongoing. It's been going on longer than the Deer Management Committee. The biologists that have been studying the geese in Victoria, there are two types of geese in Victoria. There's the migrating geese, and there's what they call what do they call it? The not habituated, urban geese.
Okay.
So there's the migratory geese and there's urban geese. Now these urban geese apparently live here all year, and those are the ones they say they want to target. So there's certain times of the year when the migratory geese come in that they can't cull. They have to wait until all the migratory geese have left. As far as I know, that's been ongoing. They addle the eggs. I know on the farms they shoot them, and this has just been going on as part of management around the airport, management on the farms. But it's this goose management strategy that the CRD is now advancing. It sounds like they're going to be killing the urban geese as well.
Right. So I mean, we hear about the geese, the deer, cougars and bears being shot in other communities recently. Do you see violence against animals as being a systemic issue right now?
I think it's a very vicious circle. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if your first reaction to an annoyance is to go out and kill it, that's setting up a dynamic within your community that's going to be hard to change later. Whereas if we can use our minds and technology to deal with the problem intelligently, that'll be easier and easier as we go along. It alarms me what happens to the children who listen to this kind of so-called solution, because they're being taught that violence is the way to solve their problems. So it's taking hold in all areas, all aspects of our society. Mm-hmm. It's wrong.
What's your favorite animal?
That is tough. Well, actually, what I'm listening to right now, the raven.
The raven?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us a raging raven?
If you listen hard enough, you can hear him. He's just over there. I would say raven, wouldn't I? Nobody can do a raven sound. It's impossible. Oh, no, that's a crow. Oh.
Okay, well, how about at least a meow for the raging Kucing?
Meow.
But folks, DeerSafe Victoria working hard to defend local deer in the community. The question is to kill or not to kill. And ultimately it's going to be decided by you, the citizens of Victoria, whether or not we want to choose lethal solutions of deer destruction over non-lethal solutions of deer cohabitation. Hopefully we'll choose the right one. This is Jordan Reichert for the Raging Kucing, Victoria. Meow.